Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Oh, it's not the Monty Zone. Welcome to the TNG review show with me, Monteman, and my co-host tonight, Maz McBob. Good evening, Maz.
Hello.
I nearly got the wrong show there for a moment.
I nearly forgot to unmute myself.
Yes, well, it's our way. It's our way of starting things off.
Yeah.
So, I have my one co-host, Maz McBob, this evening, but not our other co-host, G-Star. G-Star can't make it this evening. He is unfortunately not available. So, you're pulling double duties this evening, Maz.
I am indeed. I have a couple of questions. Can't guarantee they'll be any good as G-stars, but at least we have some questions.
We have some questions. That's the main thing, isn't it?
And a bit of trivia and a couple of goofs.
I don't know if we'll have anybody answering them, but we got the questions. Oh, we got Stu Plum.
Plum's here.
Yeah, we got Stu Plum. So good evening to you, Maz, and good evening to Smiler, my wrench in chat. Good evening. And good evening, Stu Plum. We've got some good questions for you tonight, and they're going to be about the episode Loud as a Whisper from season 2. I think we're about, is it five or six episodes in now? I think this could be number 5. Yes, I think so.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. Good evening, Mickey. Good.
Hey,
good
Mickey.
Yep. So Loud as a Whisper, season 2, and we're kind of getting into season 2 now, leaving season 1 far behind, and yeah. How was your week?
Mickey getting into season 2 now?
Is he? That's a good question.
I said, is he? Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Is he leaving season 1 far behind?
Yeah, I think last week. Yes. I've got my
our blood wine.
Got my blood wine. Yeah, coupler. Yes, I think last week.
Who knows what coupler means? Answers in chat.
I think last week Mickey said he was nearing the end of season 1. I think he was a few episodes away. So yeah, we'll have to see. He's at the end. He's at the end of the season. He's on the
neutral zone.
The neutral zone. I think it was the last episode of season 1, wasn't it? Yeah. Very good. Nearly there. Just 5 more episodes to go. Yeah. So how was your week, Maz?
My week was okay. We had bank holiday weekend, so that was good. Lots of birthdays, which is always lovely. Going to people's houses, starting to feel like normal. And that was about it, really.
Yeah, we had
busy work.
Stu Plum's 75th. It's nice.
Yes.
And we had Ty, and then we had LJ, G-Star's partner, fiance. I won't say his age, but yeah, on Sunday, and it was very nice, wasn't it?
Beautiful.
Sat in gardens and having barbecues and
hot tubs.
Yeah, hot tubs. That's the way to do it, I think, with a barbecue. Hopefully Mickey got some Magners in there over the weekend. I think he was looking forward to a couple of Magners. Yes, very good. Very good bank holiday weekend. But here we are. It's Wednesday. It's 8 o'clock. It's the TNG review show. And Loud as a Whisper. So, shall I get into it?
Yeah. Kick it off.
Straight. Have we got many bloopers and trivia tonight?
Yeah, we've got a couple bits of trivia. Not a massive load of goofs, but a handful.
Cool. I didn't really spot too much, I don't think, myself. So, it'd be interesting to see.
There was one like that you just wouldn't spot unless you were looking for it, but it was a real bad obvious spot.
Oh, was it? All right.
Yar, we'll get to that in a bit.
Oh, yeah, cool. Right, so Loud as a Whisper. Teaser. The Enterprise has been diverted to the Ramatus star system because they are having to resolve two sides of a bitter planetary conflict, and they have to provide a mediator. That both sides have agreed to. And the Enterprise is just transporting the mediator. They've been told not to interfere with it at all themselves. So that's what they're going to be doing. Now, I thought from this little, captain's log thing at the beginning that it didn't make it particularly obvious where the conflict... It sounds like they've gone to that star system to resolve a conflict rather than... They didn't actually explicitly say, well, they've gone to this system to pick up the mediator, which they're then going to transport to another place.
Yeah, good point.
But there you go. So we open up in the ready room where Picard is pondering a weird orbiting planet in a star system they've just visited. And the planet's just got a weird orbit, and he's like, that's a bit strange, isn't it? And Riker comes in and kind of just points at it and goes, well, maybe it's something random. And he's like, yeah, maybe. And they just leave that there. Just like,
It's just something I had to unknot.
Yeah.
Well done, because you did not succeed.
Did he unknot it? They seem to have done nothing but still fixed it. I was like, I don't know what just happened.
No.
But it was another use of the holographic projector on Picard's ready room desk.
Yeah, and I'm sure when we saw that before, we said that was the last time it got used or something. But
that was one of your factoids.
Have unreliable trivia.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Don't blame me. Blame the stupid people that write this stuff.
Well, now we know it was used again. Maybe they thought it was the last time in season 1.
Yeah, maybe when it said like in the series, it meant that series rather than the whole of the series.
Yeah.
Sorry.
They don't use it very often, though.
No, they don't. I think this is only one of 2 times it gets used in this series. Could be wrong. Who knows? I'm doubting myself now.
Yeah. I also forgot to mention, look, I'm wearing a different uniform today.
No,
I thought
pretty.
I decided to match UNG with a proper TNG uniform. I have to admit, I did find it in the back of one of my coats. It's something I've had for, I don't know, like 25 years or something or more.
That's cool.
And it smells a bit musty. I'm going to have to get it washed. And
so did the other ones when I first
all a bit
dug
creased.
them out, but yeah.
But never mind.
It'll wash up fine.
It will wash up fine. So Picard and Riker head to the transporter room. And Riker expresses his concern to Picard about Picard leading the away mission. But Picard says, "Cluck, cluck, cluck, number 1." And he's like, "Sir, like, you're being a mother hen." But that's his job, isn't it? But the thing is, it's not an away mission, is it? He's just going down to pick up someone, and it's like a diplomatic mission, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like when he goes down to a planet for some round-the-table diplomacy. It's not like leading an away mission into a jungle or something like that, is it?
No.
Yeah. So the mediator they are going to pick up is called Reva. And in the transporter room, Worf admits, after being probed about it by Troy, to being uncomfortable about picking Reva up, because Reva was the person that negotiated or did a lot of the negotiating for the Klingon to Federation peace treaty. And before Reva, Klingons did not know the term for peace. Oh, do we have pictures? That's a very good point.
Good question. Well done, Smiler.
Yeah,
that makes us little. Now you can't see me so well. That's good.
Yeah, it's always nice, isn't it? Spoiler alert. That's why we like putting the pictures up, just so that we don't get to see as much of our ugly mugs on the screen. So there you go. Next one's not quite there yet. So I thought that was a bit of a strange one as well. Like, okay, yeah, maybe Worf was a bit apprehensive about that, but I mean, Worf's grew up with humans. He's he's not a Klingon, is he?
No.
So I don't know why that would really bother him. But and do they pick that up again in the episode? Is that
No.
no? So it's like, why even mention it? It's like it's weird when they do these things and it doesn't mean pick up or mean anything.
Yeah, I mean, it's something to do with laying the groundwork. I mean, there's stuff like later on with the Enterprise C and how that led to the piece of the, it's all part of like a continuing story arc. And, I like that they stitch it together in that way. But for this episode, it was kind of irrelevant, I guess.
Yeah, maybe for later in the series. So Picard, Worf, and Troy all beam down to the planet, but there's no one there. So it's a really weird end to the teaser part of the episode, leading into the intro, because the teaser generally is like supposed to end on like a cliffhanger or something.
Dun, dun, dun.
And they beam down and they just like look around this empty room, and then it's dun, 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 dun. It's like, was that it? Is that what we're was that supposed to happen? Was it supposed to be like that? I don't know.
And there was another little appearance by Cole Meany in the transport room. It's always nice. Makes it feel like home with O'Brien around.
It does. And I've got a question about his skills as a transporter chief later on. So Reva arrives finally after the credits roll, and looks at them all one at a time. He just like walks into the room silently and then stands in front of each one of them, looking them in the eye.
Kind of invading their personal space.
Yeah, it's all a bit creepy. You're kind of like taken back a little bit by it. It's like, all right.
And what's with the hair?
I don't know.
It's very 80s.
It is. I mean, I rock a beard, but I mean, that one was special. It's the way his hairline meets his eyebrows.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's he then stands on a podium and is joined by 3 others. Picard goes to introduce his crew, and the 3 introduce themselves as they speak for Reva, as he is deaf, and each of them represents aspects of himself. So one represents his intellect and is a scholar, the other one his passion and is the warrior, and the third one, who was the woman of the group, she's the 2 that binds the others together, and she represents harmony. And they go on to address the... Picard goes on to address the whole ensemble after they introduce themselves. But Reva shouts. He shouts. He just shouts at him.
Speak to me!
No! Speak to me! It's like, oh, okay, cool, dude. Picard apologizes. Oh, hiya, Karen. Karen's joined us.
Hi, Karen.
Oh, yeah.
I got a whole bunch of trivia and comments, by the way, about this whole section.
All right.
So, first things first, you know the lady chorus member?
Yes.
She happens to be John Delancey's wife. So, the guy that plays Q, his wife. And actually, their kid is the one that's in Q2. Like, he's actually her, which is Voyager, when Q has a son. That's actually her. It's another Delancey, little Delancey.
Right, yeah.
That's actually their son, apparently, which I'd never knew.
No.
Reva, the actor, is actually deaf, and he petitioned the program to create a deaf character because he wanted to play a deaf character on the program, and they did. And they had a lot of people write in, both deaf people and hearing people, like commending them on this episode as being inclusive and all that kind of thing. So that's cool. And these 3, actually no, a couple more things. These 3 personality types that these people represent is based on Sigmund Freud's theories. So one of them is the id, which is the scholar dreamer, and then there's the ego, which is the libido warrior, and then the superego, which is the sort of balance and harmony. It's based on Sigmund Freud theories of psychology.
Actually, you asked me that question before we went on air, where I thought they came from, and I guessed something like Plato.
Yeah.
So I was pretty close in the whole philosophy department. but slightly more modern philosophy than ancient Greek.
Yeah. And that was about it, actually. There's a couple more in a minute, but I'll let you continue.
Right. Picard goes to. Oh no, yeah, we said that, and Reva shouted at him.
Speak to me.
Reva goes on to explain that this has been a relationship that's gone back centuries with his ancestors. He makes a reference to the say it afflicts all of their ruling line, a bit like the House of Hanover, in that they were all haemophilia sufferers, and that's not true. Actually, I looked at. I was like, I don't think he said that, and I was like, I don't think that's true. So I looked it up, and apparently, it was only after Queen Victoria.
Which was about 200 years after the House of Hanover.
Yes, which was the tail end of the House of Hanover, but I think her dad, was he a George or an Edward? George. I think contracted it and passed it on. And so she passed it on to some of her children. They married various royalties around people around Europe. So there was a bit of a mini during like the time of Victoria's offspring. There was a mini bout of it around royal families at that time because of that one reason. But it certainly wasn't something that existed for all of the Hanover line for centuries. Unlike some of the other things that they did have in their line for centuries, like madness, a lot of them, was it the Mad King George? In the Napoleonic times, he was mad, and there were lots of other Hanover royalty members around that time, like a couple of hundred years before Victoria, who all were quite mad, and that was to do with genetic defects through inbreeding. So if he is trying to pull some parallels between his situation and the House of Hanover, I think maybe he's suggesting that the royal family of his race might have practiced inbreeding. But who knows? But it's very cool that he had a character that was deaf, and he was actually deaf. That was very cool. Yes, Hanover. That wasn't true. I said that. Troy thinks that the method of communication that they have is beautiful. And the warrior.
Just after she says that, the camera sort of pans around slightly. And on the left of the screen, you see part of a crewman, like a camera crewman. It's like his arm, and he's wearing like a dark shirt with rolled up sleeves.
Oh, did you? I did not notice that.
Yeah.
Was that the one that was that the big mistake that you?
Yeah. It's like just a person.
Once you see it, you can't unsee it.
No, that's right.
I never noticed.
Oh, and there was another one I forgot to say as well, actually. Just as the people were introducing themselves, like the lady talks, one of the guys talks, one of the other guys talks, and then you see the final picture of all of them, and you hear a lady voice saying, "We have been expecting you." But at that point, you can see all of their faces, and none of their mouths are moving. It's like that final lady voice came out of nowhere, which was a bit weird. Forgot to mention that one.
I think in chat there, I think Karen was just saying she's just finished work.
Finished work, yeah.
I think that's what she was saying.
She's just fi.
Yeah, she's just hi-fi. But yeah,
Wi-Fi.
She's just wiffy.
Avez-vous de wifi?
But yeah, I think I'm predicting that's what she was going to say. After Troy says she thinks that their method of communication is beautiful, the passionate warrior guy tells her that it takes a fine mind to notice that. And she's like,
sure it's her mind he's after.
Yeah, she's like, hey up. Why is it that it's always that guy that's talking when they're talking to me? What's that all about?
She does look somewhat uncomfortable.
Reva says that that guy talks when the spirit moves him. Yeah. And I just mentioned here that I thought that was creepy as F. It's all a bit creepy. And Troy does not look, particularly comfortable with.
She doesn't.
No. So Act 2, they all beam up and they set course for the planet of the two race people.
Dum, dum, dum. Question time.
Did I do that well? I did it well. I actually did it.
Yay. I have no
I'm just doing a little happy dance.
Have no vocal effects or anything for the echo.
No.
So I'm going to dum, dum, dum instead.
Yeah. Good. I like it. Improvisation.
Right, so question 1 is the planet with the conflict that they are heading to. And we've only got 3 questions tonight, by the way. This is the 25-point question. Can't remember what they're called.
Have you got a pen to write down the scores?
Yeah, I've got a pen.
All right, yeah.
Okay. So the planet, was it called A, Calais 6, B, Soleus 5, or C, delay us by 5 minutes? Making it easy. Giving you a 50-50. How about that? So was it A, Calais 6, B, Soleus 5, or C, delay us by 5 minutes?
Delay us by. I like that name for a planet. It sounds right. Delay us by.
So there you go. That's question 1. Mickey says A. Stuplum says B.
Yeah, I mean, Karen says C.
Karen says C.
Brilliant. I like Mickey's guessed A. He's still 5 episodes behind. He's got no clue.
Yeah, and now Stu said B. He says he's definitely going to go for B now. Is he changing his mind? Do we allow mind changing?
No.
All right, Mickey, you're going to have to stick with A. He says, lol, ach, Stu. Isn't that like Scottish, not Irish? Ach.
Yeah, I think so.
Cool.
So,
do we think that's all questions? Shall I answer it already, or should we continue for a bit?
Answer it.
Answer it. Answer it already.
Answer.
Okay. Well, it is Soleus 5. Stuplum wins that round with 25 points. Karen went to C. What were you thinking, Karen?
Karen's like, I don't want to win another one. They might invite me on, especially with G not around.
Excellent. Okie dokie. Yeah. Pray continue, Mr. Monty.
And I just remembered that I forgot to move the photo on.
Oh yes, we could have. Yes, we were talking about his.
So there's
very hairiness.
His hairiness. Yeah, well, he is kind of ruling class or whatever, royalty. So there, his hairiness, his hairiness Reaver. You see what I mean about his hairline come down and meets his eyebrows.
Yep.
I mean, I'm just saying all that because I have hair envy. Yeah. Okay.
That was a Lieutenant Commander question. Thank you. I don't know what the ranks are. You'll have to help me.
Yeah. I think it's Lieutenant Commander, Commander, and Captain, I think.
Okay.
For the 3. That's what we're going with tonight.
Okay.
They beam up and set course for Solaris 5. On the bridge, Riker wants to know who all these people are that have suddenly come onto the bridge. He was only expecting one person. He's like, well, what's going on? So Picard explains what they all are, his chorus and all that. And Picard then goes to introduce his crew to Reva. But Reva cuts him off. And instead says, wow, what a privilege it is to be on such a magnificent vessel. And then he's like, pray do continue your introductions. He's just...
he certainly likes to assert his power, doesn't he?
Yeah, we'll do it in your order then. Yeah,
he's a little bit arrogant.
Yeah. Don't worry about our customs, right? We'll just... Yeah. Stuplum says he doesn't need hearing aids. Well, no, he's not. He's got very sophisticated.
Hearing aids.
Oh, hearing aids. Oh, I can't see. Hearing aids. Very good. Very good.
That's very true.
Yeah.
Frankly, even if he had them, you would not see them under that mop.
No, now you've told me he's actually deaf. I feel bad for all the mick taking I've done of him. I'm like, oh no. That's me.
Shouldn't treat differently able people any different.
It doesn't matter. They'll still cancel me. I'll find a way of getting cancelled. Yes, so he introduces the crew. He meets Riker, shakes his hand. He meets Data. He's like, "Oh, you're a bit strange," and he's like, "Oh, you're a unique individual," as he like puts his hand on his chest.
Data looks quite pleased with that.
Yeah. He meets the Forge, and they bond over his visor and the fact that his visor works like his chorus works, And then he goes and meets Troy again. And he asks that Troy escort him, if it could be Troy that escorts him back to his quarters. And Picard's like, yeah? Troy's sitting there.
At that point, she still kind of looks uncomfortable.
She's like, uh-huh. And he's like, yeah, the intellectual and the harmony, you're dismissed. I'm taking the creepy warrior guy with me. So they go off.
Mr. Passion.
Yeah, she does not look thrilled at that point.
She does not.
No. So they take the passionate warrior dude with them down to his quarters, and Picard finds the other two chorus members' quarters of their own. In this quarters, Reva tells Troy that what they do is very similar, as she's like the counselor, and he just counsels, warring factions. And
he asks her to dinner.
Yes. He says that there is that being around her is causing an emotion sort of to well up within him. And he asks her to dinner. Yeah. I know. She agrees. Okay. She's like, is the warrior dude joining us? He's like, well, yeah, because that's how we communicate. Until we find our own way of communicating with each other. In the observation lounge, Data is outlining the issues of the conflict, and that both sides are on the brink of extinction. It's been going on for like thousands of years. And Reva gets up and says, that's enough. The issues of the conflict have no relevance here. They're like, oh right. We put all this,
a bit rude.
we got a PowerPoint presentation and everything. Like, oh, put all this work in. I didn't sleep last night. But Reva says that it'll be about land or wealth or some other tangible asset, because that's what he thinks all the conflicts are based on. And I thought to myself at that point, well, that's funny, because I'm pretty sure that most conflicts on this planet are ideological rather than... Well, I mean, I know a lot of them are about land, they are about land, but at least half the conflicts are generally down to ideological reasons,
Yeah, definitely.
The Crusades and all that sort of thing. It wasn't about necessarily just getting the land. It's about imposing your ideologies.
Stuplum says he thinks Reva was just troying with her.
Oh, dear, it's... Oh, no, we haven't got...
He's on a roll.
Yeah.
There he was troying with her. Oh, no, that's at dinner.
We haven't got that far yet. The dad puns are strong with him tonight.
Yeah.
But now the conflict's gone on so long that it's now just purely personal. And on that basis, suing for peace will also need to be personal. Data confirms they have been at war for 15 centuries. That's quite a long time. Reva speculates
I think it was 15 generations, but I don't know. I might have misheard.
Oh, was it generations?
That's
It
what I
might have
wrote.
been. It might have been generations. 15 generations. Revis wants to know why they want peace now. What's changed? Um, and they all look around the room and nobody knows.
And they
And
never get to the bottom of
and
that
they never
either.
answer that question. What we need to know is why they want to sue for peace now. What's changed in
That's
their
the key
situation?
piece
That's
of
the key.
information.
The key to all this. They never answer it. I know. No idea. I think because there's only 2 people left on the planet. Oh, no, 3, 4, 4 people left on the planet, I think. Because that's all we see. So maybe that's all that's left. Anyway, no one knows. Riva says he'll find something. He always does because he never fails. And with that, Riva excuses himself from the observation lounge because he's got a date. And walks out. And Picard's left there going, that's fine, you're excused. Meeting adjourned. To nobody in particular. Yeah. I'm pretty sure as well the Harmony lady makes her excuses after Riva's already left the room. So I'm pretty sure that the things she said then were just
Placating them.
her on her
Yeah.
own, just trying to make Riva not sound as rude as he actually is.
Yeah. I
I'm
had that
wondering.
distinct impression
I'm wondering
too.
if that's most of what she does when she's like
Yeah.
Harmony, keeping harmony. Whether he's actually
Yeah.
just incompetent.
Glossing over his rudeness.
And she's the mastermind of the negotiations. She just ignores what he says is to them, and she smooths the way.
Do.
Yeah. So that's my theory.
Riker calls him self-assured. I think I would have. That's certainly a polite way of putting it.
Yeah. So Reaver goes on his date. There he is. And with Troy. And he makes a comment about the sound of the ship.
Oh, Stuplam's saying it was 15 centuries. Crikey.
Well, it was centuries. Well done, Monteban.
Yeah.
Do I get an extra point?
No.
Oh. Damn it. Yeah, he says the sound of ship. He says it energizes through his body. But she doesn't notice it anymore because she's been there forever. And they dismiss the warrior dude. And he starts to teach her sign language.
She seems less creeped out by him by now, to be fair.
She really enjoys the learning of the sign language bit. And maybe it's just the fact she didn't like the warrior dude. That was freaking her out. So when he was gone, she was a lot more relaxed. But she really got the sign language bit weighed off.
I'm guessing her empathic ability allowed that to be a lot easier for her than it would normal people. Because I'm looking at his hands thinking, I don't know, bucket, rain.
I listened to it. I watched it with the sound turned off the second time, bearing in mind I've already watched it once, so I already kind of
What did you come up with?
Well, I just couldn't think of anything. I don't know how she, like, what's that? I was like, what's that mean? Don't know. But anyway, she got it all perfectly right away. So yeah, maybe say it's her empathy, and I'm sure my empathic smiler rainbow would probably be a lot better at that than me.
Who's got beautiful lipstick?
Well,
Troy.
That's what we all want to know. I don't know how he can tell from that picture.
I don't know. Maybe he's talking about me. Don't think so, though. No, it was like she had almost like a shimmery orange. I think it was. It was a bit gaudy, I thought, but there you go.
Dad's a man of like the 70s, though. So yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So the Enterprise reaches Solaris 5. Where they detect that fighting's going on again. And so Picard hails them and tells them to stop doing that. Or, they'll not come because he doesn't want the ship to be damaged or whatever. And they'll get all huffety with him because they said that we speak to Reva only and you're not supposed to be interfering. And he's like, okay, somebody get Reva up here. And so they send for Reva and they interrupt Troy's date. And Reva comes up to the bridge and Reva reluctantly agrees. And on the bridge, he addresses the locals and tells them it's now time to cease hostilities. And they do. It's all fine now. But Riker, who's like on the bridge, stood in front of the view screen, is like, yeah, but for how long do you think they'll agree? It's like, shut up, Riker. This is diplomacy, dude. Don't sabotage it before it's even started.
Good point. Didn't notice that.
Yeah. Riker then tells Worf to prepare a security team, but Reva says no. He doesn't want to add to the tense situation, which is fair enough if you don't want to really take a big security team, but in a tense situation like this, going without security, is that a good idea? Well, let's hope he doesn't regret that decision.
And he asks for a topographical map so that he can identify the best place.
So they take him to the back of the bridge and they bring up a map on the computer and he points to a green hill and says there. And the time for killing is at an end. And he walks off, and then Data just walks into shot and just looks at the map. I don't know why they ended that shot with, it was all done. And then Data just walks over and just, peers in.
I didn't notice that.
Yeah. So, what are you doing, Data? Just wanted to be in that shot. So, Worf, Riker, and Team Reva beam down, and Reva asks for torches and a table to be set up. Now, this is the point where I think we got to question O'Brien's skills as transporter chief, because every time they beam down to this planet, he beams them down to an edge of a cliff.
Yeah.
When there's a big clearing behind where they're going to host the conference that's not on the edge of a cliff, why does he keep beaming them down to the edge of the cliff? Is he trying to tell them something?
He's giving them the scenic route.
Yeah.
Amazing views.
Maybe.
Just a short walk from your final destination.
There they are, all beaming down to the planet. And I think this is maybe the first picture we've seen of the chorus. So
yes,
there's Harmony. That's
John Delancey's wife.
That's the scholar, and that's the creepy warrior dude.
And that scholar guy, this was his first Star Trek role, but he's been in a bunch of other things in Deep Space Nine and Voyager, and he played a recurring character called Degra on Enterprise.
Oh, did he? Oh, there you go. I can't read what Smiley Rainbow's put there.
So she's saying that she knows British Sign Language.
Oh, she does.
And I was letting her know that this guy is using American Sign Language. And I didn't know if it was, as similar as American and British or whether they're completely different things. So I asked her if she understood it. She said she can understand more than she communicate, but yes, she could understand it. So they must be quite similar then.
Yeah, very cool. Very, very, very cool. Reva tells them that the first few minutes of the negotiations are going to be very tense, but not to respond even if provoked. And then the locals start to arrive. Reva stands and greets them, but as he's talking, one of the delegates starts getting a bit of an itchy trigger finger, and he has trouble coping with the whole situation, and then decides he's just going to YOLO it and yells, "No, death first, and charges forward and goes to shoot. Riker tackles Reva out the way, and the alien's laser phaser beam, with one shot, manages to vaporize the entire chorus, which was pretty unlucky.
And I know he said he didn't want a security contingent, but you'd think they would have made the ground rules clear. You think they would have made it a no weapons zone. You think that Worf and Riker might have been able to do something to kind of control that situation. It just all seemed a bit chaotic.
You could put like a dampening field down, or like you do with phasers, have some sort of scanner, or
Yeah.
if you're going to have like top delegates there, you're going to have some sort of security, aren't you?
Yeah.
Rather than it be like the Stone Age. But there you go.
Yeah.
That's Star Trek on an alien planet.
Yeah.
Sorry about the next picture. It might be up there for a while, but it's a bit of a gruesome one. So that's sad times for the chorus. They got how they got vaporized with one like phaser beam, quite like that. I don't know. I think whatever phaser beam they used, I think the Federation or some factions should start to look into it, because its effectiveness could be like good against the Jem'Hadar or something like that. Take out several of them with one blast. Where they're stupid phasers, you can literally step to one side or sometimes just shrug it off. Yeah.
Mickey says it's so lifelike.
Funny
face.
Yeah. Yeah. His arm there, it looks so real. Yes. The faction's superior chap then vaporizes his underling who lost his cool and tried to say, no, I do want peace, really. It doesn't represent all of us. But by that time, Riker's already beamed everybody up. So they just leave them there. And I'm wondering why, as it's now like 2-on-1, why the other two, after what happened, just don't vaporize the last delegate. Because he even like goes, no, wait, and has his back to the other two. And they're just kind of stood there like, oh no. You think they just go, burp. What happened? I don't know. I didn't see anything.
You'd think.
Yeah. Yeah. So yes, Riker beams them up. And so in the observation lounge, Reva is ranting in sign language, but no one's understanding him. Picard enters and asks what happened. And Riker explains. Picard can't understand what Reva's going on about, so he asks Data to go learn sign language. Quickly, go learn sign language. And asks Troy to take Reva down to Dr. Pulaski and see if she can do anything to help. And then he grabs Reva and yells at him, You are not alone! We are in this together! Just like any Englishman trying to make anyone who doesn't understand them, just yelling at the top of your voice always helps.
Oh, dear.
To a deaf guy.
It seems to help, though.
Yeah.
It does. It calms right down.
Yeah. I think it's more from his facial distortions that...
He was scared into submission.
Yeah.
Mickey says he's got to say that the sets and acting have improved as the first season went on, expecting further improvements for season 2. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the first episode of season 2, we went through like loads of set changes, didn't we? But it's much improved, yeah, for sure. And it keeps getting better season by season, Mickey. Oh, you're in for some crackers later on.
Yeah, season 2, to be fair, has some ups and downs. Some peaks and troughs.
The odd one, but
where
nothing like as bad as season 1.
3 and 4, it's all up, baby. From there, it's all pucker. Yeah. So, yes, he shouts, "We're in this together!" On the bridge, Data's learning all the sign languages, and all of them.
So they call it gestural language M9. I don't know why, but yeah, it's actually American Sign Language.
Yeah.
And I like Worf. He's like, ooh, a covert language that no one can hear. That could be very useful.
Yeah.
Thinking of the military applications.
Yeah.
Class.
I love that as well. I made a note of that. Yeah. Dr. Pulaski and Troy visit Picard in his ready room and basically tell him there's nothing that they can do because he was born that way. There's no implant. There's nothing they can do with his brain chemistry. He is the way he is. And Troy doesn't know how to get around his losing the chorus and restoring his confidence. And then Data enters and starts demonstrating his sign language proficiency by signing two people walking along a beach at sunset. By building it up, you got two people.
And it's funny the way, Data tends to run off at the mouth and Picard always has to shut him up. Well, he does exactly the same thing with his hands. So I thought that was quite sweet how he was equally verbose. Yeah. However, question time. Ooh. So in preparing to speak to Reva, Data learned several different signing languages because he wasn't quite sure which one it was.
Yeah.
Did he learn A, 5 different sign languages, B, 6 different sign languages, or C, 7 different sign languages? So Data learned a variety of sign languages to talk to Reva because he wasn't quite sure which he knew. Did he learn A, 5 different sign languages, B, 6 different sign languages, or C, 7 different sign languages? And this is a commander question for 50 points.
I'll give you a clue. One of them was M9 language.
Yeah. That's not actually a clue to the answer, though, is it? But there you go.
No.
Stu Plum goes A, Karen goes A, Mickey says C because he's so fast at it. It's a very good point. Well, that's probably all of our players for tonight. So I can tell you that Karen is now kicked off her points with 50. Stu Plum has increased his lead to 75. And Mickey, unfortunately, is still on 0. But bless you, it's because you haven't even seen these episodes yet.
He's working at a disadvantage.
He is, definitely.
Yeah. Anyway, well done, Stu Plum and Karen.
Stand a chance for the final question, though, Mickey, because we've said it several times, so it's fingers on buzzers.
Fingers on buzzers. You could still win this. Yeah. Where did I get to? He demos his 2 people walking along a beach at sunset. So Picard's eyes light up. He's like, "Ooh!" He sees light at the end of the tunnel. He takes Data to communicate with Reva. So in the observation round, Reva tells them through Data that it was all his own fault and that he was arrogant. And the whole crew are all standing around going, uh-huh. They don't. Picard tries to tell him that it wasn't his fault. That it was just one individual. And, it could have happened to anyone. But it doesn't help. And he also offers up Data services. But Reva says that whilst Data is a fine machine, poor Data, he can't convey his emotions like his chorus can. Like, "Can you tell my anguish?" As Data says, "Can you tell my anguish?" So he asks to be taken home, to which Picard replies, "That's regrettable that more people are now going to die." And Reva grunts at him and storms off. He does it a bit Worf-like. He's like,
So Karen says she signed her reply to the last question, but then realised we couldn't see the answer she was giving. Yes. And also with Data talking to Reva, I mean, obviously we're not sign language experts, but apparently he was sort of translating and responding at the wrong speeds, like he was saying stuff or whatever before Reva had actually signed it. So clearly, as an actor, he was just reading a script without actually knowing what the gestures were and being able to do it in time. So I guess only somebody that knows sign language would pick up on that.
Yeah. Doom, doom, doom. Where's the growl?
Arr.
Yeah, he growls it in.
Was there another picture?
So, oh, yeah, sorry. Oh, there you go.
Oh, that was the face grab.
That's the face grab.
That famous face grab.
You are not alone. You shall not pass. Oh, no, that's a different film. We're going on to this scene now.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, in the doctor's office, in sickbay, Dr. Pulaski is offering Geordie some new eyes. They're ocular implants into his eyes that will mean he will no longer need the visor, but there will be a reduction. Am I allowed to say the reduction? Did we decide that was?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It was going to be a question, but it will involve a 20% reduction in his visual acuity, which she's not too keen on. And she's like, or I can regenerate your eyes, but that comes with risks, and it's a one-time offer, and I just feel sorry for Geordie the way she does it, because she's like, I can give you new eyes, so you don't need to use your visor anymore. He's like, really? Yes, but it's with a 20% discount. And he's like, oh. Well, we could use a radical new procedure to grow you new eyes. What, I could have real eyes again? Yes. Why would you not want to do that? Well, I don't know. It's a big thing. Well, you should know that it's a massive risk and it's a one-time offer. And if it's not going to happen, it'll leave you blind. Oh. And he leaves sickbay feeling like he's with his head down and he looks quite traumatized, poor lad. And I just thought, that Dr. Pulaski, that woman, I tell you.
So, a couple things about this. One is that LeVar Burton apparently was petitioning at one point for his character to eventually gain sight. He felt like he was very expressive with his eyes as an actor, and that dimension of subtlety from his acting was missing from his character.
He has got massive eyes.
He does, yes. He's got beautiful eyes, actually. So, there's some theories that this episode was laying the groundwork should they decide to go in that direction with his character, but obviously they never really referred to it again. And then in later episodes that, or in the film, several things happened. He had implants in one, his eyes spontaneously regenerated in another film, and those sorts of things. So, so they do bring his eyes and his vision into it later on. Presumably, when he has the implants, in 7 years' time, the technology has changed and he no longer has to suffer that 20% reduction.
Yeah.
They're actually kind of, fan fiction people who believe that Pulaski may have been, she might have gone away and worked on them because she already said that she's done a couple of, quite big eye-related surgeries in the past.
Yeah.
And after her experience with Geordie, it's reasonable that she might have furthered that research, and possibly he was a beneficiary of that later on.
That's a nice thought, isn't it?
Oh, and the final thing was when he says, "Are we all done?" Do you know what she does?
What?
So he's not got his visor on. He says, "Are we all done?" And all she does is silently nod her head at him.
Oh, she just nods.
Which is hilarious.
Oh, Dr. Pulaski. No, good old Dr. Pulaski. She'll help him out eventually. I could be all positive about her because G's not here. Good old Doc. So Troy visits Reva and tells him she's going to try and resolve the conflict herself. She's going to take up his mantle and be the mediator. And she asks for his help. Like, she doesn't even know where to start. Reva says his technique is to find a common interest between the two groups, and then as they explore that common interest, they will explore about each other. But the real secret is to turn any disadvantages that they have into advantages. And Troy asks him that, well, if he can do that for them, why doesn't he do that for himself? Turn his disadvantage that he has now into an advantage. And Reva's like, oh, dang.
What?
What? What? Yeah, that's a good idea. So that's why he's like,
Hot
okay,
diggity dog.
that would give them something in common. So Troy tells Picard he's now returning to the planet. He's going to be doing the mediating himself. So in the transporter room, Riker comes out of the cupboard. I don't know why. Why, Riker? Did you notice that? Did that come up at all? Yeah, Riker comes out of the closet. Rather than coming through, they all come through the main entrance. Riker comes out the back. You know?
Oh.
I don't know what they keep back there in the transporter room. I'm assuming he went back there to get a phaser because he'd lost his phaser or something. Maybe they just keep spare phasers back there.
Could be a little weapon locker.
Yeah. So he comes out of the locker at the back and grabs his phaser. And they beam down with their phasers on stun. And
in their holsters.
In their holsters, yes. Because they don't want to seem threatening, I guess. And I say again, I like the way O'Brien once again beams them all down to the edge of the cliff.
And when they actually arrive, when they materialize, their phasers are all in their hands.
Oh, are they? I did not notice that.
Yes.
Oh. Maybe O'Brien did that to them, just confuse them in the transporter beam. I know what will really confuse them is not only will they be looking at the edge of a cliff, but suddenly they'll all have their phasers drawn. He says to himself.
Because it was volatile last time. Let's just add a little bit more of a pinch of spice this time.
Yeah. Yes. So there you go. Geordie beams down the table and torches. I think we might have There's Reva with his torches and table. He's been asked to make it look like they're made out of the indigenous rock. So Geordie sorts all that out.
You see all those obelisks around him as well?
Yeah.
Recognize them from anything?
I'm going to go for Star Trek V, The Final Frontier.
Correctamundo.
Was it really?
Yep.
Wow. Yeah. That's from the planet Shakari, where they meet God at the center of the galaxy.
Well, there you go. You get extra points for that, Monty.
Do I get extra points? Do I?
Yeah. You get extra 25 points.
my nerd status has been renewed. Okay.
Yarp.
Well, there you go. I think one day we're going to have to do like maybe a series of like maybe when we've got time and we think we're not live streaming enough and we want to do more. We should like do some one-off Star Trek movie reviews.
Oh yeah.
Because like Star Trek V is one of those things that is generally held up to be possibly
terrible.
The worst Star Trek film of them all. But sadly, it's one of my guilty pleasures. Like, I love that film, even though it's terrible. And I kind of love it for its terribleness. It's got both at the same time. Some of the worst plot points and some of the worst mistakes and goofs and terrible things in any Star Trek film. But at the same time, it's got some of the best Star Trek moments. Some truly like epic, character-driven, funny Star Trek moments that are just pure genius. So if they could have pulled it all together in a coherent way, it could have been a fantastic film. Instead, it's a mess.
I believe you.
It's a mess and a disaster. But it'll be an interesting one to discuss at some point. I've forgotten where I was. Oh, he's down there. They beam down. They beam down the torches and the table. Riker doesn't get how he's going to communicate with the indigenous population, but Troy tells him that by teaching the two factions sign language, he'll be turning a disadvantage into an advantage. And by learning to communicate by Reva, they'll also be learning to communicate with each other. And they beam up.
It will take them months, though.
Yeah, it'll take them months, but that's fine. It's not like he's got anything else to do. And they beam up and leave him there, and there's the last shot of him on the planet with his table.
Why do I get a feeling he's about to be horribly murdered by fighting factions?
It seems like he's got no supplies, no spare clothes.
Yeah, he's got no change of clothes yet.
No food. I hope they eat something that's digestible
to his species.
Basically, I've got a feeling he was never heard of again.
Yeah, I had that distinct impression too.
Yeah. That's it. They never see him again. The Enterprise leaves
Picard's
orbit.
looking at his hologram again.
Picard's in his ready room looking at his weird hologram, still not figuring out what it was all about. And Troy comes in, visits Picard, and he tells her that she's done well. And she looks very pleased with herself.
And Stuplum points out he also had no toilet rolls.
Oh, crumbs. That would be a disaster. No toilet roll?
It could probably tear strips off that weird coat he's wearing, though.
Yeah.
So, dum, dum, dum. Shall I go for the captain question?
It's captain question time.
Okay, so fingers on buzzers. And to make it even harder, I'm going to do quick fire because this is something you will have heard several times already. So it's who can answer first. Are you ready? So the three people in the chorus.
Smiler Rainbow didn't stand a chance here, does she?
Yeah, no, don't worry about trying to copy this down, Smiler. So the three people in the chorus, were they A, a scholar, an artist, and balance? Were they B, a warrior, libido, and harmony? Or were they C, a scholar, a warrior, and harmony? Shall I ask again?
Yeah, go on. Repeat that.
Right. Was it A, a scholar, an artist, and balance? Was it B, a warrior, libido, and harmony? Or was it C, a scholar, warrior, and harmony? We got a B, we got a C. Well, what do you know? Mickey only just clinched it with his quick fire.
A Stuplum. Oh, I didn't see Stuplum.
He's done B, yeah.
I didn't see his thing come up.
It's the first one to answer it correctly as well.
Oh, it is. It is first one, isn't it?
So Mickey has just taken the 100 captain points. Stuplum's on 75 and Karen's on 50. So there you go, Mickey. We said you could take it all with the last question. And he did.
And he did. Yay! Right. Well done. I need some streaming sound effects, don't I? I need some like applause music and
I think
things.
it's Mickey's first win as well, so that's cool. Proud moment, Mickey.
Proud
He's like,
moment.
oh my God. What fun.
Who'd have thunked it? Who'd have thunked it? Having not actually seen the episode.
Yeah, I did, because I said we said it a couple of times. So if he was observational, then he stood a chance with this one.
Yeah. I'm going to add Mickey to the little graph. That puts myself, Kazdi Oh, no, wait. I've done that on the wrong season.
I said it's season 1.
That's season 1.
Oh, yeah, we haven't seen Kazdi recently. I must message him and tell him we're missing him.
That's Joel, myself, and Mickey all on 1 and Stuplum on 2.
Way, Stuplum. Karen, though. Karen still to get a score on the board.
Yeah, in season 2, Karen's not managed to get one there yet, but there's plenty of episodes to go.
Yeah, Mickey says next time he'll be all caught up.
Yeah. So, should we, do you want to put scores on the doors if everybody in chat, if you want to give us...
Scores. Yeah, what you think?
Mickey, guess your score and you can compare it against when you actually see it. What do I think I'm going to give this score?
I'm again, I find it like a little hard. It's like, yeah, one of those ones where it was kind of okay, not outstanding, bit average, but not terrible.
Yeah, it's kind of like that, and it's kind of like ironic that it has in that picture we see on screen elements of Star Trek Five in it. It's a bit like that. Like it's got some good TNG like moments in it, and it's kind of like good because of the bits that are wrong in it are kind of funny wrong.
Yeah,
You can kind of take the mick out of it with a laugh.
definitely. Are we ready then? 3, 2, 1.
3, 2, 1. Then let's go.
4. Wow, that's
Yeah.
low.
I've gone low.
Yeah, I thought it was not too bad.
I was thinking 5.
Well, it averages at a 5, so that's fine.
Yeah.
And I was thinking 5 or 6, so that's fine if it averages at a 5. And we haven't got G-Star's score, so we won't know the proper score until we
we'll
get
have
that one.
to. We'll have to.
Duplum says 7. Mickey says 6. Hey,
7.
see, Mickey gets another one right.
Stuplum.
Well done, Mickey. You get extra points for getting it right, Mickey. 'Cause Mickey agrees with me.
You can't give someone extra points just for agreeing with you.
He's already won. I
no,
don't
that's
get to be
true.
question master very often. So if
true.
I want to give him extra points, I give him extra points.
Yeah. Yeah.
I gave you extra points for knowing where those obelisks were from.
It didn't help me though, did it?
No,
No. That's the only points I got.
that's true. That's true. I had already told you what the quickfire question was, though, stupidly. I forgot that you like to play along with that one. Oops.
It doesn't matter. It does not matter. Yeah. So.
Do you want to bring up the spreadsheet?
Yep, I was just filling it in. I'll just bring it
Cool.
up now.
I'm big again. Look at me. I'm so big.
We'll soon put an end to that.
Yeah, please do.
There you
I'm
go.
tiny again.
So at the moment, it's the worst episode of the season because we're missing.
I would not have put this below the child.
We're missing. Probably not. No. Maybe I should make it a 5.
Yeah, are you allowed to change it?
No, according to G, no, I'm not allowed to change it. I've got to stick with my.
Well, then, got to stick with it.
I purely looked at it against the outrageous Okana last week, and I thought it was about as good as that. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I just found him too creepy that I just gave him 1 less. But it could
maybe
have been a 5.
some of the trivia helps me as well because I have a bit more insight into some of it. But
yeah,
I mean, I'm not saying you don't have insight, but I mean, about how good an episode this was for diversity reasons and stuff, and how everybody wrote in and all that kind of stuff. It was a really positive story for this one in that respect.
Yes, yeah, that is true. That is true. The sets were okay. I mean, they only had the set where they picked him up and the set where they had the Star Trek 5 set.
But they weren't terrible.
But they weren't terrible. Yeah, so the sets were all right. The story was okay. I think maybe it was those little inconsistencies in plot points. Like, what was that whole weird orbit with that planet all about? Why even have that in it? It seemed like maybe they needed something in there to fill a bit of time or whatever. They just didn't know.
That really, well, that's it. I mean, with Data walking up to that screen as well, that's also a bit of a time filler.
Yeah.
But yeah, and the thing about, it's really important to find out what these people, why they suddenly want peace. And it's like there wasn't a single conversation with any of these alien people to discover anything about what their motives were or why they suddenly wanted peace.
No, and the fact that, there was no security around the whole conference thing. And yeah, just a number of little things that I think.
And another minor thing that I forgot to say earlier, but they talked about how Reva was one of the most famed negotiators of all time, and he negotiated the peace treaty with the Klingons and all this kind of stuff. If he's that famous, how comes nowhere did anyone know that he was deaf and he walks around with this chorus of people that speak for him? I mean, that would have been part of the legend behind the man. Like everybody would have known that about him because it's so unique and how
Yeah.
he communicates. Like this would have been, everybody would have known that.
Especially like the Klingons and Worf not even liking the dude.
Mm.
So yeah. Yeah, I'm sticking with my 4. You've convinced me more into the 4 now.
But
Yeah.
yeah, I generally, I didn't find it. I mean, I admit last week when I thought about this episode, I thought, oh, I don't think that's a particularly good one, but I enjoyed it more than I expected, to be fair. So,
Yeah, same. I have to say, I quite enjoy watching it. It was. I do find that rewatching some of these episodes, I am enjoying the ones that I didn't think I'd enjoy more than the ones that I thought I would be enjoying.
it's odd paying this much attention to them. Because to be fair, normally when I stream things on Netflix, it's whilst I'm cooking or doing housework. I'm never really, that focused on it, actually watching it and listening to everything that's being said. So perhaps that, that enhances the experience, I guess. I mean, of course it does, but yeah.
And the thing is, in the 90s, when I used to watch these on my VHS tapes with Gary and Andrew Macaulay and that over and over again,
You so old.
I'm so old. Old bugger. We'd only choose the episodes that we liked and we'd skip the episodes we didn't like, So there's a lot of these episodes like this that I've only watched a couple of times, where some of the episodes that I really like, say like Yesterday's Enterprise in season 3, I've probably watched that episode like 50 or 60 times.
Yeah.
So,
Cause and effect. Oh God,
cause
how
and
many
effect.
times have I watched that
Yeah,
episode?
same. So like cause and
Great
effect,
episode.
Yesterday's Enterprise. We could write the review now.
Yeah.
But these episodes are sort of
It
more.
opens on a poker game.
Yeah, these are more like not like watching it for the first time, but they feel fresher in your mind because yeah, you don't know them as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so it's interesting. Stuplum says there wasn't a lot of them left. I think they're on the planet. The two factions. I'm pretty sure there was just 2 on each side, and there was the only ones left. Well, there's only 1 on one side now and 2 on the other. I think
that's why they wanted to negotiate so badly, because they've reached a critical mass of extinction. They did say they were nearly extinct, didn't
What's
they?
changed? Well, there's only 3 of them now. And they realise if they don't stop now, it's not going to be anyone left. Yeah. So maybe that was it. Maybe that was the bit of crucial information we were missing.
So what have we got next week? Do you know?
Oh, I don't. I don't. I'm gonna look it up now for your.
Oh, I'm big again.
Your big look. There you go. We can see your beautiful face.
Not so beautiful.
Season 2. Here we go. As Loud as a Whisper was episode 5. Episode 6 next week is The Schizoid Man. I believe, just from the thumbnail of this episode, which has it's the VHS cover. Anyway, that those people watching that the thumbnails for these are the VHS covers of like the Star Trek episodes from the 1990s. Because I used to collect them on VHS, and it was the thing that got me and G-Star all excited when we held a brand new TNG VHS in our hands. So yeah, it's got 2 episodes on each VHS, so you always get the same thumbnail for 2 of these live streams. And the thumbnail for this one's got Data wearing a beard because he decides, I think, in The Schizoid Man, that he wants to be distinguished looking like Riker. So he sticks a beard on his face.
Cool. I think I remember that one was an okay one. So quite looking forward to that, I think.
I can't remember what it was, to be honest.
It's about this bandy scientist guy, crazy guy.
Ah, yeah. Yeah, it's
He's like
that guy that plays
eccentric.
lots of different characters in Star Trek, isn't it?
Hmm.
Yeah, he plays like Klingons and things. I think he played a king. I think he played the Klingon prison warden in Star Trek VI: An Undiscovered Country.
Yeah.
Yeah, on the planet Rurapente.
The prison planet.
Yeah, penal
Before the
colony.
ice.
The penal colony Rurapente. He was like the warden, I think. Yeah.
Well, I may judge you've just ruined some trivia for next week then, haven't you?
I could be wrong. I could be thinking of a completely different episode. So yeah, don't take that on any sort of. Yeah, I'm usually wrong about these things.
Good night, Stu Plum.
Good night, Stu
Night-night.
Plum. I think we're pretty much done now, anyway, aren't we?
Yep,
I think
we are.
we've done this episode. Another
We've
episode.
thoroughly explored its nooks and crannies.
We have, especially its crannies. Yeah. So hopefully G-Star will be with us back again next week. I think we're
so.
still doing the Monty Zone on Friday.
This Friday.
Yeah,
Cool.
I think so. I know G-Star's having a very busy week with interviews and things this week, so it was touch and go whether it would be Friday, but I think it still is. But anyway, keep an eye on the Facebook page, the Monty Zone's Facebook page, because there'll be news about it going up on that. It should be this Friday. I think it will be, unless G-Star comes back to me and says he can't make it. But it's about ghosts and ghouls and things like that this week. So I think we're exploring all the different types of hauntings and things that you get. It's our first foray into this subject matter, so I think we're going at it at high level. And yeah, starting off there and then exploring each one in detail in later episodes. So that's for Friday. It's exciting times. Yeah. So yes, well, thank you, Mickey. Thank you, Stu Plum. Thank you, Karen. Thank you, my wrench Smiler, for joining us again and helping us keep chat entertained. And thank you, Mazin McBob.
It was my pleasure.
For finding out all those interesting pieces of information.
Yeah. See you again next week.
Yeah. See you next week, next Wednesday at 8 o'clock for the next Generation review show. So, cheers.
Cole, Mickey, and Joy. I'm off for a run and watch quite an episode thanks to the show and a win. Yay. Gotta love Mickey.